Without a plan, your retirement is really just built on guesswork. And so one of the biggest things that we try to do is talk to them about having a foundation, something like guaranteed income.
And welcome into Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP. And as we do, starting off this edition of Protect and Grow with your financial tip of the week.
My financial tip of the week, Peter, is for people to make sure that they include inflation when they're doing a plan. We're talking about plans this week, and that is so important that they make sure that their dollar is doubling at least every 24 years based on 3% inflation. We've seen it higher, we've seen it lower, but that's the average.
I hear someone on the radio talking about a financial fill-up, and to me, it sounds great. That money continues to come in year after year and refills the tank, refills the bank account month after month for the duration of your lifetime. But my question has always been, well, what happens when gas starts to cost more?
Yeah.
And you've got to work that into your plan, Tim.
Right. I agree with you. And I usually talk to our groups. I'll say, how much was a gallon of gas back when you started driving? And then I hit home with, well, now it's $3. So people understand the effects of inflation right in their pocketbook.
We are talking this week about constructing your plan, and certainly inflation is going to be part of that discussion, as it should be when you are constructing your plan, ladies and gentlemen. And if you would like to get that comprehensive plan put together, a blueprint for your retirement, that is the Protect and Grow written retirement blueprint offered there at TJ Stearns Inc. with the help and assistance in planning of a certified financial planning professional, of course, Tim Stearns, CFP, here on the radio, but also your resource for an in-person relationship and to get your plan put together. So if you would like to get that conversation started, pick up the phone and give TJ Stearns Inc. a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. So Tim, kind of an analogy here with the construction process is that many aspects of building a structure, a house to a skyscraper, hold similarities with how your financial plan should be laid out, built, and constructed. So building a solid financial plan is a lot like building a house. You don't start by picking out the paint colors and the knobs on the cabinets. You've got a long way to go before you get to the finishing touches. So today, let's walk through the construction process step by step and how it mirrors how we should be thinking about our financial planning.
So, Peter, what you're talking about is having a blueprint. And, without a plan, your retirement is really just built on guesswork. And so one of the biggest things that we try to do is talk to them about having a foundation, something like guaranteed income, because it needs to support everything that's being built on top. And it prevents the house from sinking when markets wobble.
Yeah, have to have a blueprint, and then there's always going to be ongoing costs for maintenance and upkeep, right? So a strong plan built intentionally, not just thrown together, starts with that blueprint. And that's why each and every week and every day there at TJ Stearns Inc., you talk about helping individuals and families construct that Protect and Grow written retirement blueprint. And this has been the foundation, play on words there, of your model there for building confident retirement.
You cannot do a retirement without a big plan that is comprehensive and that is dynamic at the same time. So basically what we do is we reverse engineer the process. We want to start with what the income target is and then work backwards.
And then measure twice and cut once, an old saying in carpentry, but really any kind of building.
Well, Peter, think about it. You can buy more wood, right? How are you going to be able to buy more retirement money if you don't have it done right? And that's so important. You don't get do-overs.
Test assumptions before acting on them, avoid irreversible mistakes. Tim, a lot of times in a construction process, again, from a house to a skyscraper, there is a project manager, general contractor, but also lots and lots of different subcontractors. How does that parallel to our financial planning?
Well, in our arena, it's I'm kind of the quarterback. So we make sure the certified financial planning practitioner is looking over everything and making sure the CPA's numbers jive with what the estate attorney and myself have come up with so to make sure that you get one shot at retirement. You don't get multiple. So we're always talking to people about getting it done right the first time.
Yeah, the electrician is not generally the plumber, is not generally the drywaller, is also not the person who's doing the roof or the gutters. You've got specialists, tax, legal, financial, and all do need to work together to make the image, the vision that we have in that blueprint come to reality.
That's exactly true. And then once you finally have that product out there, you're going to need to monitor it. And that's why we do annual inspections, which would be an annual review. Because if you're doing maintenance, you're going to prevent the small issue from becoming a huge disaster. And the plans evolve as life goes on.
But Tim, when all you have is a hammer, every job looks like a nail. One
Right.
tool is not the answer for every job, and we hear and see a lot of that in the financial world.
Well, yes, we do. We see a lot of people that are so quote unquote advisors that are only using stocks and bonds or mutual funds with those in there. That is not the way to go through retirement. You need other things. You need other vehicles that aren't correlated to the markets.
And again, we are talking with Tim Stearns, CFP, about constructing your plan, putting together your financial plan, pouring the foundation, reverse engineering, having the blueprint, looking at the vision, making sure it all comes together as you envision for lasting financial stability and confidence. And if you would like to get your written retirement blueprint, the protect and grow plan for your retirement, pick up the phone and give TJ Stearns Inc. and Tim Stearns CFP a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, when a house is all completed, the future owner does a final walkthrough with blue tape and finds a lot of times 100 or so things that still need to be done. It's like an ongoing process. It's never all the way complete. Still find things undone, right?
Well, you're talking about, there's unexpected, things that are happening out there. And, your plan needs to be flexible enough that, that you are able to get it accomplished. So they're not going to be hard numbers, but you need to make sure that you're somewhere near that mark, and that includes having things like an emergency reserve if you go over budget, and unfortunately, expect the unexpected.
The final walkthrough is like reviewing that plan, fixing issues before retirement, before moving in, so to speak, and don't assume that everything is perfect just because it looks close, right? We also need to understand that, Tim, even when a house is paid off, there's still regular expenses, taxes and insurance. And similarly in retirement, we are going to still have taxes and insurance we're going to have to pay for.
Right. And a lot of people, their biggest asset besides their house is going to be their 401ks. So when you're dealing with numbers, you need to make sure that they understand that we're dealing with net numbers and not gross numbers that they're taking out of the 401k.
Permits and approvals in the building process, Tim, and the codes have changed significantly. We would not want to build a house today with the same plumbing and electrical codes that might have been around, the standards from the 1950s or 60s. Things have improved significantly, but just like the codes and the permits, there are requirements that we keep up with, and the landscape in the financial world updates as well with our requirements.
Right. That's why we stay ahead of the curve, knowing what's going on for our clients. The continuing education that we do as a certified financial planning practitioner, I need to stay ahead and above and beyond that. So we're always making sure people know what their blind spots are because of new rules, let's say, or there could be new opportunities too. So we're always staying abreast of the situation.
I mean, just recent examples of things that have changed, Tim, the stretch IRA,
Yep.
RMD age, contribution limits, tax brackets, those things change almost yearly due to inflation.
You'd be scared. It's scary to see how many people do not know about the Secure Act and what it's affected, like things like that stretch IRA. But our clients do have that, and that's one of the reasons that we offer our book, and I'd like to do that for the first 10 people that call into us. We'll get a book out into their hands. We have it digitally, and then of course we have a hard copy of it. But I think it spells out everything that we're talking about on this podcast.
The book Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like a copy in your hands, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. But as those requirements, as the codes and standards do update, avoid penalties and compliance failure, costly mistakes and oversights, make sure that your plan stays up to date and that it's built with quality materials. Tim, that always makes a difference in the construction process. The quality of the materials and the products that we use in our financial plan also certainly make a difference.
Right. And you need to make sure that you're using reputable companies to get these things accomplished. And, with being fiduciaries, we're always abreast of what that is and what kind of companies that we're going to need that are going to do the best job for our clients.
Well, just like building a house, constructing a financial plan takes vision, structure, the right tools, most importantly, having the plan, and then continuing to inspect and update that plan as time goes on. Regular maintenance, ladies and gentlemen. The stronger your foundation, the better the you will fare over the test of time. And we always enjoy the conversation. Turn to Tim Stearns, CFP, for his guidance and expertise, his experience in putting together plans that last for his clients there at TJ Stearns Inc. It is the Protect and Grow written retirement blueprint, and many of the principles that these plans will help you understand and abide by are written about in that book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. So if you would like your copy of that book and to get the conversation started so that you can also have a written Protect and Grow retirement blueprint, pick up the phone and give TJ Stearns Inc. and Tim Stearns CFP a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, a strong plan starts with a strong foundation, using the right tools, having that vision, having a blueprint. Don't just wing it with a hammer and nail and hope that a home comes together. You got to have a plan and all the right tools.
Couldn't agree more, Peter. And that's why we do a Protect and Grow blueprint here week in and week out and make sure that people get retired right.
We'll get the plan in your hands to answer your questions and improve your financial outlook now and into the future, ladies and gentlemen. The written Protect and Grow retirement blueprint. You can get that only there at TJ Stearns Inc., along with your copy of Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. Call now, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, always a pleasure.
Peter, thanks for having me.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Investment advisory services offered through Cornerstone Securities, LLC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.